So you're interested in purchasing the all-new 2024 Chevy Traverse, but want to know the exact differences in terms of features, options, and packaging between two trim levels. Well, in this video, we're going to cover the differences between that of the Z71, which is a new trim, off-road oriented, versus that of the RS, which is fully loaded, fully equipped for this next generation Traverse. Tell you what some of the standard equipment differences are, some of the optional equipment differences are, as well as the pricing information for all of the standard as well as the optional packages as well. There's going to be a lot of helpful and useful information in this video, so make sure you guys stay tuned to the end, as well as subscribe if you haven't already. So as usual, I want to put this disclaimer out there in that I created this list of differences using the GM Fleet Order Guide to the best of my abilities. So if you find anything that seems incorrect or just want clarification on any of the features, packaging, stuff like that, leave those down in the comment section below and I will definitely get back and answer them for you. And of course, I always encourage people to use the Chevy build and price tool for the next generation Traverse once it goes live on their website, which hopefully will be very shortly, given these should be entering production over the next couple months and should head to local dealerships very shortly after that. So some of these standard features across every single Traverse for this next generation are going to include things like the Chevy Safety Assist Suite as well as the Driver Confidence Package. So IntelliBeam High Beam Assist, Safety Alert Seat, Enhanced Automatic Emergency Braking, Intersection Emergency Braking, Reverse Automatic Braking, Adaptive Cruise Control, Enhanced Lane Keeping Assist, HD Surround View Camera System, Rear Pedestrian Alert, Side Bicyclist Alert, Traffic Sign Recognition, as well as the 17.7 and 11-inch fully digital gauge cluster and infotainment with Google integration, all standard across the board no matter which trim you do choose. Now, in addition to this, the convenience package also includes remote start, heated front seats, heated steering wheel, as well as a wrap steering wheel. Again, standard equipment across every single Traverse, and the list continues on. You have wireless Android Auto, wireless Apple CarPlay, Sirius XM, OnStar connected services, Wi-Fi hotspot, hands-free power liftgate, LED projector headlights, deep tinted rear glass, active noise cancellation, and tri-zone automatic climate control. Again, standard across the board. But of course, this video is going to pertain mostly to the Z71 and RS, which includes more standard equipment than just this list. So next up, I want to move into the RS's standard equipment that is going to be optional on the Z71. This is the Enhanced Driving Package, which includes Super Cruise, Enhanced Automatic Parking Assist, Driver Attention Assist, as well as the rear digital camera mirror on the Z71. So that is all going to be standard on the RS, optional on the Z71. In addition to this, the 10-speaker Bose premium audio system, as well as that digital camera mirror, is going to be included in that optional package on the Z71. And then finally, we have the panoramic power sunroof, as well as the trailering package. Once again, standard on the RS, optional with the Z71. So next up, I want to cover a very important category, and that is the RS standard equipment that is not going to be available at all on the Z71 or any of the lower Traverse trims. So if you want any of these features, you will have to opt for the top of the line RS versus the rest of the Traverse lineup, at least as it sits right now. So first up, it's going to be the lighting up level ambient. Not exactly sure if this is color selectable, but this should be a nicer LED interior light. Auto dimming interior rearview mirror, as well as the driver's side external mirror, are going to be auto dimming. Power passenger seat, 6-way with 4-way power lumbar. Second row, one-touch fold mechatronic, which is essentially an electronic button release that will fold the seats flat from the cargo area or maybe inside of the second row. Third row power folding seats is going to be a power fold up-down from the cargo area once again. Ventilated front seats, heated second row seats, power tilt telescopic steering column, flat bottom steering wheel, universal garage home remote, animated LED headlights and taillights with a sequential turn signal, auto dimming driver's side mirror, which I mentioned, with the power fold external mirror, so the outside two mirrors will be the power folding type, gloss black arch moldings, rainsense wipers, heated wiper park, as well as leather seating surfaces versus that of the Evotech synthetic leather on some of the lesser trims that is going to be optional. So all of these are going to be standard on the RS that are actually not going to be available at all on that Z71 or the lower trims. Now, in terms of optional features on the RS that are either optional on the Z71 or not available on the Z71, well, there is just no optional equipment as far as I'm concerned on the RS. I was not able to find any additional option packages, so that is kind of NA or not applicable for this particular video. So basically, if you want fully loaded Traverse, you have to opt for the RS. You cannot load up a Z71 or even an LT really even remotely close to that of an RS. You can get about halfway there, maybe 60% or so, but things like the ventilated front seats and stuff like that is just not going to be available on any other trim, at least as of this point. And it will be interesting to see if Chevy decides to add a high country trim to the Traverse, make it even more luxurious, add even more features and options than it currently will come with. Maybe even to compete with some of the other mid-size three-row SUVs, which do have more features than that of even the fully loaded RS in many regards. So fully loaded RS, no optional packages as far as I was able to find. And when it comes to exterior colors, I believe the RS as well as the Z71 will have full access to the 8 exterior colors available, which are going to be the iridescent pearl tri-coat, summit white, mosaic black metallic, radiant red tint coat, sterling gray metallic, stardust metallic, harvest bronze metallic, as well as lakeshore blue metallic. I believe these are all going to be available. Some of them are going to be extra cost paint colors, such as the iridescent pearl and stuff like that. And finally, I do want to wrap up with the information that you guys are probably curious about, and that's going to be the pricing. But actually, before we cover pricing, I do want to cover the differences between the Z71 and the RS in terms of some of the mechanical aspects, because as we know, the Z71 is going to be a new off-road oriented trim level versus that of the RS, which is certainly not going to be as off-road capable, especially with those 22-inch wheels. So the Z71 specific off-road features that are not going to be available on any other trim level currently of the Traverse is going to be 1 inch more increased ground clearance coupled with increased track width for added stability, handling, and capability. All-terrain off-road tires with 18-inch alloy wheels exclusive to the Z71. Unique front fascia designed for improved approach angle with aluminum skid plate and signature Z71 red tow hooks. Twin clutch all-wheel drive system designed to optimize traction and handling in off-road situations. Unique damper tuning with hydraulic rebound control to improve off-road capability. Specific terrain mode within the driver selectable drive modes. Hill descent control as well as the trailering package. So I guess the Z71 and RS will both come with the standard trailering package, but basically those are some of the off-road oriented equipment that is, again, specific to the Z71 and its off-road capability that is not going to be on the RS or even the LT or LS or anything like that. So did want to add that in there. Now let's go ahead and cover the exact pricing information. So starting with the less expensive Z71 model, this is only going to come with that all-wheel drive system, again, specific to the Z71. This is going to start at $47,795, including destination. Then moving on to the RS pricing, the RS will come in both front-wheel drive and all-wheel drive configurations, much like that of the other trims. So the RS front-wheel drive will start at $55,595, and the RS all-wheel drive will add $2,000 more and start at $57,595, again including destination. So as you can see, there is a $10,000 price difference between a Z71 all-wheel drive and that of an RS all-wheel drive. But you got to remember there is some optional equipment, including that driver package that includes the Smart Cruise or the Super Cruise functionality, excuse me, that will certainly add some additional costs. And I do have some pricing information as far as that goes for the Z71. So that enhanced driving package for the Z71 will come in at $3,755, which will push it well over that $50,000 price point. But again, it makes it a little bit more closer to that of an RS and adds, certainly the hands-free Super Cruise, which is a very, very nice feature. But as it looks like a fully loaded Z71 will come in the low to mid $50,000 price point. But again, you cannot get all the features and options equivalent to that of an RS. So again, the RS will still be superior in that regard, but the Z71 will certainly have much more off-road capability and certainly might be a good option if you do like to hit those, light to moderate trails, depending on what you're doing, gravel back roads, dirt back roads, anything like that. Will be interesting. Hopefully I get to test that out in the future, but as it sits, it looks like the RS will still stay under $60,000, even if it is fully loaded with some extra cost paint colors. So that's going to do it for this video and some of the key differences between the Z71 and that of the RS trim levels. If you want to know some of the differences in the other trims such as the LS or LT, make sure to check out some of the other dedicated videos I have here on the channel going over those in a little bit more detail, as well as their respective pricing information. And unfortunately, I don't have the exact information as to when these will start production and hit dealership lots, but I do expect that to be relatively shortly here in the next 1 to 2 months. So hopefully by the sometime in March, we should start seeing these hit dealerships and I will be attending the 2024 Chicago Auto Show, which I'm hoping the Traverse will be in attendance in, any of its trim levels as far as I'm concerned, but I would expect at least maybe a Z71 and or an RS to be in appearance. So make sure to stay tuned for my first hands-on impressions. I'm very excited for this model for Chevy. It's a very hot seller, as is mid-size three-row SUVs in general, and this one being an all-new generation should be, fairly competitive, although there are some missing key features and options that are available on some of the competitors, such as the Hyundai Palisade and Kia Telluride, that are actually absent here on the Traverse, at least thus far, mainly, for second row occupants and stuff like that with the ventilated functions in the seats and, other things like that. But overall, it is an impressive list of features and options, should be a relatively good size for the segment, maybe one of the, larger vehicles in terms of physical space on the inside. And they did make it, I think, ever so slightly larger versus that of the current generation, which was already very, very usable in all three rows. So very excited to see that at the 2024 Chicago Auto Show, again, assuming they are in attendance. And, let me know in the comment section below how you guys are feeling about the next generation Traverse and some of the items mentioned in this video. Of course, as we know, it's going to come standard with a 2.5 liter turbo engine and 8-speed automatic transmission. It's going to be more powerful than that of the outgoing 3.6 liter V6 engine with well over 300 horsepower, well over 300 pound-feet of torque on regular, 87 octane fuel, which is fantastic. But again, it is a turbocharged 4-cylinder versus a naturally aspirated, V6, which is, traditional powertrain. So it will be interesting to see how it drives, everything like that, and hopefully I will get to experience that a little bit later in the springtime or so, maybe at the Mama 2024 Spring Rally. But again, let me know your thoughts and comments down in the comment section below if you need any clarification like that. As always, I appreciate the continued support. Consider becoming a member here on the channel if you want to support us a little bit further. And as always, hope to see you guys in the next one.